Imagine investing in these superstars before they ever broke out. This is the place. This is where you come to know who to invest in on Mojo, the sports stock market. So make sure you tap in. The Opening Bell, hosted by Ray GQ and your boy Jay Rich. Let's make some money.
Let's get it. Welcome into the Opening Bell. It's your boy Ray G, joined as always by my partner in crime, my man Jay Rich. You can find him on Twitter at your boy Jay Rich. And this is the Opening Bell over here on the Mojo YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know which players you guys are investing in or which players you're like, I'm out after week 5 of the NFL season. And it was a good one because one division, Jay, that people said was bad. The division is terrible. It's the least, the NFC least. Dallas Cowboys, 4-1. Philadelphia Eagles, 5-0. And the New York Giants, 4-1. After a win versus the Green Bay Packers in London, the Daniel Jones-led Giants, Jay Rich, 4-1. What a surprise on the season. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I got the Mojo threads on. Shout out to Mojo for sending this out. J Rich 15 in the building.
No. JR 15, because there's you're a Florida Gators fan, and there's a very good quarterback at the University of Florida. He doesn't like to go by the moniker AR-15, but you've got the 15 on. You're a Florida Gators fan. Your last name is Richards. His last name is Richardson. You'll probably be able to see him on the Mojo market soon. But yeah, JR-15. I like it, man. The nice Mojo threads. I got mine in the background over here. There it is right there.
GQ,
hanging up
baby.
In the bathroom. Yeah. But how you doing, man? And talk to me about those Giants, man. 4-1.
Yeah, they are officially the football Giants again. They used to be just the New York Giants, but now they're New York football Giants, led by their phenomenal head coach, Brian Daboll, and commanded by their starting quarterback, Daniel Jones, a quarterback, Ray, that we were shorting just a few weeks ago. And while that was a good call back then, we have to be honest. We have to reevaluate. What we've seen out of the New York Giants has been a surprise. Saquon Barkley playing his way to a $20 price on Mojo very shortly, and Daniel Jones kind of breaking out of that slump a little bit, getting that win in London against the Green Bay Packers. They outplayed the Packers as far as I'm concerned. The defense has been really good, and Daniel Jones has earned every bit of value that he's accumulated on Mojo because he is playing potentially, Ray, to a second contract. I think that's the key focus of this show is, can Daniel Jones, Ray, in your opinion, make his way to a next contract to bank enough Mojo value to where he is a go long this season?
Now, this is the beauty. This is we are seeing Mojo in full effect work, because a mere 2 weeks ago, I was saying short Daniel Jones. And in a quick second, we're going to talk about why I think you should go long Daniel Jones. But before we get into that, we do have to check the market, right? We've got to see what's going on, who's doing what. So just a quick scan of the market for the rookies. Some of the top movers right now overall in the market. Justin Jefferson up currently 19%. Taysom Hill up 23%. We'll talk about this running back from the Seattle Seahawks in a minute. Rashad Penny, he is down considerably right now. We'll get to him in a minute. I see a tight end, Adam Troutman, up 66% for Adam Troutman. Good Lord. Sam Ehlinger, a quarterback from the Indianapolis Colts, up 14%. Shi Smith down 22%, wide receiver from the Carolina Panthers. Going through the quarterbacks, the main one that I'm looking at is Matthew Stafford and his fall. Right now, he's down 2.4% after losing at home to the Cooper Rush-led Dallas Cowboys. Wide receiver market, there's a lot of red going down this morning. Devontae Adams down just a tad bit, not much. I'm not going to consider him a big-time mover. But Julio Jones down 1.86%. Jamar Chase, we kind of talked about him earlier on the Wake Up Show. He's playing okay, but he's not doing Jamar Chase things that we saw last year. He's down a little bit right now. CeeDee Lamb up a tad bit after the win yesterday in LA. Going through the running backs, Zeke Elliott and all his 22 carries and 78 yards. He's down just a tad bit. Saquon Barkley's up. Alvin Kamara's up. Nick Chubb, best running back in football, Jay, he's up 5.5%.
Yes.
Best running back in football right now, Nick Chubb.
100%. I don't even think it's that close. Nick Chubb's playing on a phenomenal level, probably the best year of his career so far.
And this is an interesting one for me. Mark Andrews down almost 2% this morning after having 8 for like 80 and a touchdown last night.
And a touchdown,
yeah, played really well last night. We see George Kittle down almost 5% today. Kyle Pitts is up 3% after not playing last week. And TJ Hawkinson, the most fraudulent tight end in football, is up 5% this morning. Yeah. TJ Hawkinson is up 5% after his 1-for-6 performance versus the New England Patriots. No bueno. But let's get to Daniel Jones. The team, the man of the hour, Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones right now, let's just take a look at where he's at right now. Week 5 versus Green Bay, 21 for 27, 217 yards, 10 carries, 37 yards, and a dub across the pond in London. And he is up over 4.5% right now. And you see this 24-hour swing on Daniel Jones. Right now, his current price is $25.92. Listen, Jay, I'm saying he is the perfect example of what makes Mojo so fun, so awesome, and why I appreciate the product so much is because you can get in, get out for short-term sort of short-term, cash value. You could short him for a couple of weeks, and then once he continues to play better or bad, you can either go long or continue to short. And right now, Jay, I asked the question. The way that he's playing, like everybody craps on Daniel Jones for how he played the first few years of his career, but let's not ignore the fact that he had zero kind of stability from the head coach, from the offensive coordinator, the system. He's playing with arguably, I think, the worst cast of wide receivers in the NFL. The worst. Darius Slayton, David Sills, Richie James, the ghost of Kenny Golladay, and Kadarius Toney and all his enthusiasm and hand clapping on the sidelines. He's playing with the worst group of wide receivers in the NFL, yet they're continuing to win, and he's just stacking solid performances on top of solid performances. Not spectacular, not all world, not all pro, but they're winning games. And if they continue to win, Jay, the thing is, they're not going to be in a position to draft an Anthony Richardson, a Will Levis, a Bryce Young. And I ask you, who else is out there? You really want Jimmy Garoppolo over what we're seeing from Daniel Jones right now? I don't think so. I think you give this young man some time to grow. And the way that he's playing right now, and I'm looking at his current value, Jay, I can see this going a lot higher than $25.92. You throw a multiplier on top of that, you look at his upcoming schedule, I think Daniel Jones is a long. He is a buy right now, in my opinion. Where are you at with Daniel Jones?
I'm a big fan. You see kind of the way he's been playing so far. He's 4.68 per season banked value, right? We know he is a bit of turnover prone. So again, you may see some turnovers here and there. And we know how devastating that is on Mojo. But like you mentioned, if you put a multiplier on Daniel Jones, you're 40%, 20% your money in one weekend because he had a adequate game at best. He managed the game. He ran when he needed to run. He's bleeding all over the field. He's leading his team to victories. Obviously, riding Saquon Barkley's coattails because we know how good Saquon Barkley's been, and he's up 2% today. But he only needs to bank another $12 in value, and that for him is about 3 seasons or so if he's going to return on this current price. And I think to your point, we talked about this on the last show, how we thought maybe there's a chance they replace him. The Giants are playing too good for that, my man. They're playing too good. They're playing their way out of a top draft pick, which means they're playing their way out of a top quarterback. And the way that Brian Daboll is running this system, you have to give him all the credit in the world. If it wasn't for Nick Sirianni, Brian Daboll would be the coach of the year, and he still may be the coach of the year.
Agreed.
So you think about what they've done with Daniel Jones. Why bring in a new quarterback when the development they've seen in 5 games from Daniel Jones is leaps and bounds what we see in other quarterbacks week over week? I think Daniel Jones is a screaming buy. If he somehow gets an extension, he will play at least 2 years, and he will return value on that investment. You need to go along on Daniel Jones, and I would definitely be putting a multiplier on him because, like you said, there was a ton of upside for a guy who had a modest game, 200 yards, no touchdowns. If he has a 3-touchdown game with 250,
X multiplier. 10x, and that's not just for a week. It's not just that is for the length of your trade. The length of your investment in Daniel Jones. 10x multiplier. Now that works both ways, but they're 4-1. The culture, the videos of Daboll in the locker room with the team, they're talking about it. Ryan Clark, he had a tweet that said this was definitely the right Brian for the job. And those of you out there Brian Flores, Brian Daboll, Bill Belichick. There was some controversy and some text messages there, but he was definitely the right guy for the job. And I do believe in what Brian Daboll, and we've been saying, like they were making competent moves in the offseason, the draft, when you load up with an Evan Neal, with the Kayvon Thibodeau, building in those trenches, coming out of a successful organization like Buffalo, he brought that energy and that mojo over to the Giants, and it's working for Daniel Jones. So for me, yes, I thought he was a short a couple of weeks ago on that Monday night game. Was it Monday night versus Dallas? Who did they?
Cowboys.
Was it the Cowboys?
Yeah.
And he was awful, right? Cowboy. It worked, right? You could have cashed out, took that value, but now just because you short or go long a player doesn't mean that's the direction you have to stay in for life. This is not. You can get in and out and switch the direction of how you think a player's stock is going to increase or decrease over time. I do agree with you. I think Daniel Jones, if I can go long on Daniel Jones, I think they continue to win and they play themselves out of the top quarterback running. Does that mean they're going to not draft a quarterback? They probably will in the third round and develop. They need somebody else. Tyrod Taylor. They had Saquon Barkley as the emergency quarterback on Sunday. He actually ran some Wildcat in that game. And you talked about Saquon Barkley's value. Like I want to invest in Giants players. I want to invest, well, at least Daniel Jones.
Two of them right now, right? We want Daniel Jones, we want Saquon Barkley.
I want those two guys.
The receivers going forward,
I want to invest in those two guys. All right, Jay, where are we at now? Do you want to stay in the state of New York? Because it's good to be a New York fan right now. It's feeling good being a New York fan.
Man, Ray, it has never been better to be a fan in New York right now. Outside of Mets fans. Mets fans are in mourning. They lost. They're out of the wild card.
Knicks fans, they're optimistic with Jalen Brunson right now. They're optimistic. RJ Barrett, Jalen, they're optimistic. But yeah, at least the football New York fans, right?
The focus right now, Giants and those Jets, man. Jets, 40 points on the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Miami Dolphins were down to their third string quarterback. So Skylar Thompson, maybe a screaming buy on Mojo if he gets even a couple more weeks out of him. But Zach Wilson continues to be the story on Mojo and honestly on the Twitterverse, everywhere. Zach Wilson and his performance 2 weeks in a row now. Zach Wilson has come out and performed well in big wins. Obviously, Breece Hall, another massive story in this one. Almost 200 total yards. Right? 200 total yards, touchdown, and got vultured for 2 touchdowns.
Two veteran vultures from Michael Carter.
Right? So, to me, Zach Wilson, massive stock up, right?
Yes.
And the crazy part about Zach Wilson is he's actually down right now 3% on Mojo. I still believe that he is a guy that you want to go out and buy and go long on. And right now, the Mojo market is saying, we're giving you a discount.
Yep.
He's giving you a little discount on Zach Wilson. Go long on Zach Wilson because this team is a lot better than anyone's giving them credit for. And if they continue to stack wins, his value will continue to go up. And that's why you want to go long on him. The problem for me, Ray, is the pass catchers. Nobody in this game caught more than 3 passes. We love Garrett Wilson. We love Elijah Moore. We want to go long on those guys. The issue is right now, Breece Hall and the running backs are getting a ton of work, but the receivers not looking as good for them. I think the thing is that we need to just monitor the situation, but I'm not necessarily going long on the receivers just yet. But Zach Wilson, I am all in on out of New York.
Yeah, just in my early sort of process with where I want to place my money, it's just not in the receivers right now. And especially when there's ambiguity in the receiver room, maybe once there's a clear-cut defined one, which we don't know who that is. Is it Breece Hall? Is it Garrett Wilson? Is it Elijah Moore? Is it Corey Davis? Once we figure out, Tyler Conklin didn't do anything yesterday. I don't think he even caught a pass yesterday. Nope. So I think Zach Wilson is still trying to figure it out. But here's the thing. They're winning, right? They're what are the Jets? What are they? 2-3 on the season? 2-3 on the season. Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback again next year for the Jets. Yeah. Like, there's no doubt about that. Breece Hall right now on Mojo is only banked almost 75 cents. It's 74 cents bank value on Breece Hall. His price is right here at $11.60, a little bit behind David Montgomery and right ahead of Miles Sanders. I want Breece Hall. He is the next up-and-coming superstar running back that I do think his value. You throw a multiplier on Breece Hall, you go long on that. What's the multiply? 3x on Breece Hall multiplier. I want it. I want him long-term, and I'm parking that. It's like Apple. I just want Breece Hall. Yeah. It's tried and true. It's a FANG stock. I know he's going to be a beast here in the future, but I do agree with you. Zach Wilson, a little bit of a value right now, down 3%. And there's some other young quarterbacks right now, Jay, that again, we're talking about their ability to retain a starting job year after year, and it's been a rocky start for Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. But this past Sunday versus the Minnesota Vikings, it was only 200 passing yards, but you saw progress. You saw steps forward.
Yes.
He wasn't sacked a billion times. He didn't throw interceptions. He actually had a 50-yard run called back, and had that touchdown run been counted, I think we would have saw his value spike today. People would have been like, there it is. Another win for the Bears. Justin Fields takes a step forward. I'm in on Justin Fields, man. Where's and I think he's down right now, right? Is he down in the market?
Yeah, Justin Fields, $24.82 is his current price, or at least when I checked it a little bit before the show, down 4.15%, which is surprising. He does have to bank another $20 in future value. So we talked about Daniel Jones, around $5 per season. You are banking on Justin Fields playing around 5 more seasons. But Ray, to your point, like, he's just got so much upside. It's very difficult not to like him. And people can say, oh, it's one good game, whatever. This is the best passing performance of his entire career, highest passer rating he's ever had. And again, it was against the Vikings, but this is the division that he plays in, and I think he's only going to continue to get better. He started off rocky this season. It was a new offense that they were learning and slowly progressing, but we've continued to see them trust him more and more throughout the process, and I think that's only going to continue going forward. He's looking better and better every week. Yes, he started off awful, but I think if he can really get going, he can go way up in value. Like I mentioned, only $24 right now, so it's not a massive ceiling. Zach Wilson at $34, Mac Jones $44, Trevor Lawrence up over $70. I think that Justin Fields can definitely earn a $30 price tag.
So this is where the old diamond hands comes into play, because it's probably going to be rocky, right? Especially if you throw the 6x multiplier on him, you'd be hurting this morning. You'd be like, oh my goodness. But it's the steps. Like, you gotta place your shot. If you wait until it happens, you're too late, right? Justin Fields is like, the organization has come out and said, we're backing him. They know that they're devoid pass catchers. They know that this team is a work in progress, and they're going to do everything, I hope, to put pieces around Justin Fields in the future to really give him a fair shot. So I'm banking on him. I'm not even banking on him for 5 years, Jay. I'm banking on him for the rest of the season, continuing to stack positives on positives. I'm banking on him being the starting quarterback next year. And with that 6x multiplier, if he hits that, if that holding call hadn't happened, right? Scores that long touchdown, the Bears win that game, people are going crazy talking about, I knew it, he just needed time. Justin Fields is one of those guys that I'm willing to bank on. And really quickly, another young quarterback, Jay, that we might be seeing a QB change. Talk to me about Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons have been awful, right, to start this season. They contend in games, but Marcus Mariota is clearly not the guy to take them to the promised land. Desmond Ridder, I believe, Ray, he was a 4th-round draft pick, right, or 5th-round draft pick?
Third-round draft pick.
3rd round out of Cincinnati, so even more reason to believe in Desmond Ridder. He's not going to be the quarterback for the long term, but Marcus Mariota on Mojo, again, down 2.35%. People are not projecting him to be the starter long term. He isn't looking good, and Desmond Ridder is the guy who will step in, and he's actually priced lower than Malik Willis. And so we talked about Malik Willis, how eventually he's going to get a shot and go up in value on Mojo. He's even Desmond Ridder is even cheaper. And so you think about, from the standpoint of an investment, who's look worse, Ryan Tannehill or Marcus Mariota? I think the answer is definitively Marcus Mariota, right? The Atlanta Falcons are a much worse team, and there's a much greater chance we see Desmond Ridder in the game. And so in my opinion, Ray, I think you want to go along with Desmond Ridder. Once he steps in, maybe we'll talk about we sell him then, but for now, you should be investing in Desmond Ridder because he's probably going to get a shot this season to start, and that's really all we're looking for with a quarterback like that, because once he does, we know that value is going to go up, and he could potentially even double to where he's $13 or $14 in value.
Over the past month for Desmond Ridder, he's up 21% over this past month. 21%. $5.88. He's currently sitting at $7.30. And the moment he gets named the starter, you're going to see his chart is just skyrocket up. Because he's going to get a shot to start. He's going to get a chance. I'm not saying he's the guy long term. This is somebody that I'm not as confident saying I'm holding him for years, but I definitely wouldn't mind getting in on Desmond Ridder today, seeing once he gets the start or named the starter, gets that opportunity to get on the field, where his price goes up to, and at that point I can cash out, right? I can cash out if I don't believe in it long term. But right now at $7.30, I'm on board with some Desmond Ridder. It's not all roses over here at Mojo. Just like the market, it's not all good, and sometimes you get players that are playing well, and unfortunate injuries happen, and it ends up hurting their share price. And we saw that this past Sunday with Rashad Penny and the Seattle Seahawks. And thoughts and prayers to Rashad Penny. I hope his ankle feels better, but you see what happens. His price over 24 hours completely dipped after the ankle injury versus the Saints. Rashad Penny was playing good football, gets hurt. He's not going to see him on the field probably anymore this season, and he's down 38.9%. Jay, I mean, that is likely out for the year for the talented running back, and where the disappointment for Penny is evident. It also provides an opportunity for a young running back in Kenneth Walker to see his value go up. So right now, if you had Rashad Penny going into Sunday, you're not feeling too hot today, right? Now, if you bought in low on Kenneth Walker, despite his low usage and his low volume, you're feeling great right now because he's the starter and he's up. He's up almost 10% over on Mojo right now?
Almost 10%, almost $10 on Mojo right now. And to your point, right, won the Doak Walker Award winner in college this season.
He's the best
high draft pick. Expected him to be the guy early. Rashad Penny did look good, but this is the problem with Rashad Penny. He always finds a way to get hurt. Tibia injury, not good, right? It could be a career ender. He's probably not going to be back in Seattle because he is on an expiring contract. But Ray, like you said, Kenneth Walker was drafted to be the guy, and now week 6 and beyond, he's the guy, right? He's going to be the starting running back for the Seahawks, and this offense is much better than we initially projected. So for me, I think I would be willing to go long on Kenneth Walker. Yes, he's up right now. You should have been buying him before because you knew his time would come, but now he will be the starter going forward. And in that Pete Carroll offense, we know he likes to run the ball, and the way Geno Smith is playing right now, I think you want a piece of Kenneth Walker going long on him.
All right, Jay, looking ahead to week 6, we got a Thursday night matchup, Chicago and Washington. Maybe there's an opportunity. There goes Fields on Thursday night, Amazon Prime. I don't know how good that game will be, but there goes Justin Fields. The aforementioned Desmond Ridder, the San Francisco 49ers, is their matchup, and it's at home in Atlanta. We see the Jets versus Green Bay this Sunday on Fox. So the opportunity for Zach Wilson and Breece Hall to continue their momentum forward versus a very good team. And Daniel Jones and the New York Giants get the Baltimore Ravens. They play at home in New York versus the Ravens. So again, another good matchup for some primetime players and Daniel Jones to step it up against Lamar Jackson. And then the Sunday night game, Dallas versus Philadelphia. Looking at some of these early matchups, what say you about, at least in the short term, any of these players? Do you think we see some Desmond Ridder versus the San Francisco 49ers this week? Or do you think Daniel Jones can get it done versus Baltimore? These are tough matchups for Jones and Zach Wilson this week.
Yeah, so let's start with Jones. I think the good thing is that it is a tough matchup, right? But I don't think the Baltimore Ravens have been so dominant that he can't put out a good performance. And so for that, I am definitely thankful. Desmond Ridder, on the other hand, I don't want to see him in that game. The 49ers will make Desmond Ridder look very bad in the way that Malik Willis looked very bad against the Buffalo Bills. But your point about Justin Fields, right? We've seen what this Commander defense has given up over the past few games and all season, really. Justin Fields could be in tune for a big performance. And Ray, most importantly, in prime time. We've seen what happens when primetime players play. Russell Wilson continues to tank and unfortunately is in prime time again. So maybe we'll be shorting Russell Wilson this week, but we can talk about that next Monday. But Justin Fields in a primetime performance against a bad defense to really put out and show out why he deserved to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. I think Justin Fields going long on him, knowing he has a primetime game against one of the worst defenses in all of the NFL, is one of the best spots. Ray, I want to ask you very quickly about tonight's game. Yeah. We didn't touch on tonight's game, right?
Yeah, I was getting ready.
Your boy, Isaiah Pacheco, $5 on Mojo right now.
$4.95, actually. $4.95.
Are we going long on Isaiah Pacheco today, knowing he's going to be playing tonight on Monday Night Football?
I'm willing to do it. Maybe. I'm not going to short him. I don't know if he's going to have the blow-up game, but he is getting more involved in the offense. $4.95. I could do it. Okay, I'll do it.
Let me give you a quick comp, right? Because there's 3 rookie running backs all around the same price range. I want you to rank for me these 3 running backs: Isaiah Pacheco, Rashad White, and James Cook. Who do you think has the highest potential return on investment of those 3 running backs? They're all priced right on the same price. Rashad White, $5.03. Isaiah Pacheco, $4.95. And James Cook, $4.82 on Mojo. Who would you feel the best investing in long term? It's a tough question.
All 3 of them.
All 3 are great.
All 3 are good. All 3 have outstanding quarterbacks. I think it's Kansas City, man. I think people are searching for that. We're looking for that KC back. We're looking for that Brian Westbrook. We're looking for that Mahomes compliment, the old Kareem Hunt. I think it's Isaiah Pacheco. I like James Cook. He had a touchdown this past Sunday. I like Rashad White. His usage is a little bit more, but he still got to deal with Leonard Fournette. James Cook still has Devin Singletary and Josh Allen that he has to contend with. Did you know that when James Cook scored that touchdown, it was the first rushing touchdown this season from a Bills running back?
What?
I'm almost positive.
That's crazy, man.
I'm almost positive it was the first rushing touchdown from Bills running back. But I think it's Isaiah Pacheco. I do believe it's Isaiah Pacheco, and at $4.95, I wouldn't mind parking some stock in some Isaiah Pacheco.
He's up 113% over the last month. Isaiah Pacheco, obviously 7th-round draft pick, but you can go long on him, Ray. You can go long on Isaiah Pacheco, and if he has, heaven forbid, another 60 yards on the ground, and if he scores, my goodness, he's going way up. Way up. The Mojo market makers will not be able to deny Isaiah Pacheco if he scores a touchdown again this week. I'm excited for him. Prime time again, a place where he can show out and stand out and show why he's the best running back on that team.
Where's the game at, Jay?
Put me on the spot. I believe it's in Kansas City.
I think it's in Kansas City.
I believe it's in Kansas City.
Yeah, because they play games at in the Raiders Stadium on Saturday. I think it's in KC. It's in KC. So there it is.
Even better. You got the crowd behind him. Mahomes going for that MVP.
Whew.
It's going to be a good game tonight.
Go load up on Chiefs tonight. Go load up on Chiefs. Yeah. All right. For Jay Rich, for myself, for Mojo, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of The Opening Bell. We'll be back on Monday to discuss all the fallout, all the market movers from the past weekend of football. We appreciate it, man. Jay, anything you want to say to people before we get out of here?
Remember, this is not just New Jersey. Download the app. Check it out. Mojo is coming everywhere soon.
Dope
and
stuff.
Ray, we saw a little sneak peek of the college players. We just wait till we get those college players, baby. We're gonna be talking about all those college players.
I'm putting all my stock in you, man. JR15, let's get it. Give me the Florida chomp one time. JR15. Appreciate y'all. Opening bell. We out. Peace.
Keep going.